Is that okay? Okay.
Do it, yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna start talking because I haven't really been able to explain this to somebody.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. At the turn of the 20th century, in the early 1900s, San Diego wasn't what it is today. In fact, the world wasn't what it is today. And there was one defining moment in both the world's history and also San Diego's history that was pivotal. And that was the development of the Panama Canal. It was so impactful that some people compare it to the Silk Road in the 2nd century BC. It connected worlds together through trade, through commerce, through the sharing of culture. And when that happened, it was recognized that for America, San Diego would be the first port that all of this commerce would come to. It would be the first thing that the world would see of America. The entrepreneurs and the patriarchs of San Diego held a Panama Exposition and World Fair and took 1,400 acres of undeveloped, uncultivated land and created what we now know as Balboa Park. And what's important is there was a key decision that defined not just Balboa Park, but defined San Diego. And that was the choice to use Spanish colonial revival architecture as the architecture for all of Balboa Park. But there was something beautiful about that because this Spanish colonial revival architecture was meant for a warm climate. You had these big interior courtyards with lush landscape, and palm trees were introduced to San Diego. You had the red tile roofs, and you really had something that was simple and beautiful, but as the name Spanish Colonial Revival hints towards, it was a revival of one of the greatest architectures the world has ever seen. Once Balboa Park was built in the early 1900s, you saw that the wealthiest, the most influential, the most educated, the academics of our city chose Spanish Colonial Revival to be their homes in what later became North Park and Mission Hills and of course Point Loma. One of the most important of these homes is the Bowman Cotton House. This is a property that was built by Richard S. Requa, a very famous architect who really is credited for pushing this architectural style forward in California. And no one understands his impact as well as Ion Steeler.
This home is designed and built right at the apex of Richard Requa's career. For this home, he definitely took advantage of the siting, where we have basically two fronts to the home, the front on the bay and the front on the street. He had an amazing ability to make these homes live indoor-outdoor. That was very unique for the time frame.
When you enter through the gates of this historic property into the lush courtyard, you're almost transported into a different time. There's a mahogany front door, which is highlighted by the landscaping. And right when you open that front door, you immediately are hit with these stunning views out to the sailboats in downtown San Diego. There's a delicate wrought iron balustrade in the main staircase. The entry is flanked by arched doorways that repeat in style into a spacious living room. And on the other side, a formal dining room with a picture bay window overlooking the San Diego Yacht Club, Coronado, in downtown San Diego.
Richard Requa had a masterful handle on sculptural elements. The way the shapes of his roofs come together are like a beautifully crafted puzzle.
What I love about this home is it's an impressive home of luxury, but it's so livable. You never feel as if the architecture or the design or the rooms or the space were meant to impress you. They were meant to be a place to live. And that's something that is so beautiful about European architecture is it's humble. It's human-sized. Every room in this home has a purpose. And the Bowman Cotton House really captures the essence of that architecture. When you're so close to the ocean, or when you're on the ocean like this, space is at such a premium. You rarely get a home that really has size and stature and amenities like you would find in an inland estate. But this property has a green yard overlooking the water, almost as if space was ubiquitous, that space was easy to come by. At the time that this home was built, there were so few homes in Point Loma on this hillside. There was neither anything behind this property nor much in front of it. But over the last 100 years, the master bedroom of the Bowman Cotton House has literally watched our city develop into what it is. In fact, at the time that this home was built, there was not one skyscraper in downtown San Diego. And now downtown San Diego, and San Diego is the 8th largest city in the country. It's one of the largest economies in the planet. And so when you look out from the master bedroom, you see all of our city. You see the commerce of downtown San Diego. You see the leisure of Coronado. You see the worldliness of all of the sailboats that have come from all over the world, and they park right in front of your master bedroom. And so you get to see San Diego develop from its adolescence to its adulthood, but you also get to see people from all over the world see San Diego through their eyes for the first time. The Bowman Cotton House is historic not just because of the architecture and design, but because this was home to some of the most important San Diegans who have ever lived. Bowman was behind so many incredible things that happened in the early days of San Diego. But Oscar Cotton, who came after him, in his time that he lived in this home, he developed most of what we now know as San Diego. In fact, it was written once that Oscar Cotton did more for the growth, the promotion, the marketing, and the development of San Diego as a city than any other person who lived during his time. And that makes this home really home to our city. And it's only natural that great estates are home to great citizens. With that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised that whoever lived here next would have their hand in shaping the future of our city.
Yeah, I'll chop it up.
Chop it up, please.